Hello, I'm Toycat and welcome back to our third channel walk and talk video. Today I've got a little bit of a different one because, as you might be able to tell from the floor 38 sign, I'm taking a walk down some stairs. I'm living in an apartment building right now, in a very tall building. It's a lot taller than 38 floors. And one of the interesting things about living in such a tall building is there's elevators to every floor, and so no one takes the stairs. There are actually multiple sets of stairs for fire safety reasons. You can probably tell it's for fire safety reasons by the fire hydrants and whatever that is. But yeah, this is a giant building and no one ever takes the stairs. Mostly for convenience, I imagine. 38 flights of stairs is a lot to climb up, but you never see anyone going on the way down, whereas the elevators are always very busy. And so I figured, let's talk about down. Down is something people don't really consider too often. When they think about like, oh yeah, 38 floors, it's a lot to climb up. It's not really a lot to climb down, as I'm going to be proving in today's video, where I go from floor 38 all the way down to floor 1, I hope, unless I die or something. But I wanted to talk about down, because the most enjoyable parts of the human experience is the up. I mean, whenever you see, I don't know, drugs in a movie, it's always the up that's glamorized. It's never the next day of, what's the term, come down. It's the, you know, when we talk about, you know, success and high rise and stuff, we don't talk about like, oh yeah, it's great to be a lawyer working all these great hours, you know, like in Suits or whatever. You don't see the converse of that, where they get home and they have only enough time to like, I don't know, put some toast in the toaster or microwave a slice of pizza and then go to bed because they spent all their time working. The down is not discussed as much as the up, and I think the good reasons a lot of the time. I think sharing the positives in life is so much more important than sharing the negatives. But today, I do have a little bit of a semi-negative rant that I think can be useful for people, because I have seen so many YouTube, you know, in my job, I speak to a lot of YouTubers, as you might imagine, whether by accident or by choice. But one of the interesting things about speaking to so many YouTubers is how many of them, especially when they're on the way up in their career cycle, so many YouTubers are genuinely convinced that their cycle will never end. I've heard that's the same thing for actors. I can't speak personally to that. But in these, you know, I've heard it's the same for lawyers. I can't speak personally to that. In a lot of career paths, there is this like great ladder that you can climb, and people are convinced that the ladder is only going to keep going up and get better and better and better. But it's interesting because not a single one of the people that I've seen downfall had considered their downfall before it happened. Whereas a lot of the people that I do have kept in touch with for the last few years, who have been successful for most of that time, are at least somewhat aware that, like, of their own mortality. They're aware of the fact that anything bad could happen at any time. And I think of it as being kind of analogous to, I've heard this analogy in so many different places, but people who drive under the influence of something will put an extra effort in, they'll drive extra carefully, etc., because they're so cautious of something. And although I don't necessarily buy that as logic, it seems like a great way to just excuse DUI heavy behavior. I do think that, you know, like, oh, I break laws, but it's totally justified, because really I'm safer when I drive under the influence. That's what it sounds like to me. I think there is a certain truth to the idea that if you're more cautious of something, when you're aware of a risk more, you can avoid that risk better. And so one of the things I'm 100% aware of all the time, non-stop every day, is my own mortality on the internet sense. I mean, I'm actually pretty unaware of my mortality in real life. Like, I think about it pretty heavily, but in very few situations. I'm sure I take all sorts of risks every day that I should be thinking about. But in a career sense, in a YouTube sense, I'm thinking about my career mortality all the time, non-stop, every single day. And it seems probably unhealthy, right? It seems like a bad thing. And a lot of people I speak to are just like, don't worry about it. Stop feeling insecure. People will be around for you forever. Like, famous people don't just vanish. But it's that problem, it's survivorship bias. You only see the people who don't vanish. You don't see all the people who do. The celebrity who acted in some movie that you loved 20 years ago and has not done a single thing since. There's a few examples of this that come to mind. I'm always so spooked out because you're like, it's just reflective. You can't see what's behind the floor. At least I can't. But one of the, I know I watched Skins a bunch of years ago. Half of those actors went on to great things. Tony from Skins is a Marvel character. And a few of those characters went on to do stage shows, or they retired to be non-famous people doing non-famous things, right? Their career ended and they moved on to something else. And so I think about that all the times in the YouTube sets. They're one of the most successful people in the Minecraft 360 community. They literally had Minecraft XBLA in their name. That one of the most successful people at the time. You know, he decided he wanted to be famous for something else because like he had this huge audience. They followed him to something. They didn't, and now he does something else entirely. There was a guy in the Minecraft 360 space 7 years ago that was so much bigger than every other channel. I still to this day can't explain to you why he was so much bigger, but he was head and shoulders above everyone else. And that same guy had a huge bout of success like 6 years ago, and he's, you know, I checked his Twitter, it's sad. He's been like really depressed and his channel's doing terribly. He uploads like once a year, which I guess honestly, like, to be even doing terribly if you upload once a year, he's making a ton of money for doing one video worth of content a year. But my point is the down is very, 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 very prevalent in my head, and I think it should be. I think it's weird to think about it, but you should be focused about what bad thing is happening around the corner, at least somewhat regularly. So one of the things that's happening to me right now, so like I'm starting to see the social side of, the financial side of, is the YouTube channel has been ticking along steadily for a while. I'd say it got a little bit, the last year has been a pretty good year YouTube-wise. I'd say YouTube's done exactly okay. It's been going average, whereas everything around YouTube, you know, the map stuff has started to happen. The second and third channels are doing slightly better. All of the, you know, the Long Boy and the Toy Cat plush. Last year was a good year for stuff, but then for some reason, I generally, I can only tell you that, like, you know, we've reached the end of that wave of popularity. Last month was the worst month my channel has had for views in, like, and therefore the relevant ad statistics. In, I don't know, like I think it was 2018, like late 2018 was the last time I had them up that bad. And then this month, May of 2021, is it's double as bad, it's half as good as that is. This is as bad a month as I can remember records having. And it's interesting because there's two ways I can look at this. The optimistic way, the way that will stop me from feeling bad about it, is to say something along the lines of like, oh yeah, well think about, you know, the fact that you would have craved this. And it is true, I would have been in love with this, you know, like the numbers that are now back worse since 2017, or worse since 2016 or 2015. In 2014, I would have been craving those numbers. And that's a good way to keep yourself from being disappointed when it's temporary. But I think sometimes you also need to be like, yeah, this is a big problem to deal with. And the reason that I maybe melodramatically sometimes talk about the internet and doing anything that's based on popularity, I need to exist inside your head and on your screens or something like that some amount of the time, or I'm not, or I stop existing in a career sense, which is, it's unlike every other job, right? You can't, you know, if you're doing a good job, as long as your company doesn't go insolvent, if the job wants you, they'll have you. On the internet, it doesn't matter how many people like you if they aren't paying the attention to you, or literally paying you, or literally, you know, like unless these things happen, it doesn't matter how much you're liked. You're gonna, you know, YouTube's the only job where you can have your income cut in half over the course of a month, despite nothing materially changing, right? And, you know, sometimes it is frustrating to say those words out loud and be like, oh yeah, it would be nice to have, you know, some guaranteed sets of money regardless of what you do. But I also think sometimes it's almost like a blessing mixed in with that curse. Man, I wonder, can you see all the way up from here? It's weird to think about, right? You know, hallways are weird. Everything about this experience is weird. The fact that it takes 10 minutes to walk downstairs, it's kind of weird. It's good exercise though. Yeah, basically people don't think, one of the things that is kind of weird about this is that unlike a lot of other things, the base level on YouTube is always down. I would say the same thing is true for a lot of things in your life. Your quality of health, this again, it's dark. Your health is only ever going down. You're not going to get healthier in 10 years unless you make drastic changes. Again, by default, unless you're literally 16 and just recovering from some huge illness, your health is only going down from where it is now. And the same thing's true for internet stardom. It's only going down by default. You have to fight against the current to stay level. And if you want to push past that, you've got to really fight against the current. And I'm being extra mindful to not deprioritize my own health or my own mental health, or, floor 1 doesn't exist. Okay, I'm trying extra hard to not deprioritize my health during this, and I'm gonna hope that I do my best at that. But my plan is I have to swim real fast against the tide. I am literally pushing against, we found the exit by the way, I'm literally pushing against a tide that is incredibly strong, stronger than it's ever been. And this is a bad analogy because I can't actually swim. What is this, by the way? There's like a little fence to stop that. Is there something down there? Let's find out. Oh, it's just fire extinguishers and traffic cones. What a weird thing. You know, it's one of those things we take for granted. You assume that famous people you like, let's start going back up, screw it. You assume famous people that you like will always exist and will always continue to, because that's the nature. Like, so when someone's in your brain, you forget about decay. I think this is a good word for this. Decay. We forget that as human beings, we're decaying. You know, your health is only ever going down. Sorry to tell you, unless you make a really conscious effort to improve it, health is only going down, or if you make a kind of conscious effort, it might stabilize. Because it decays, right? It's slowly, like a dead body. You're just an alive dead body, and you rot away over time. And one of the things, this is actually quite motivational, huh? See, going down the stairs was so easy. It was the natural thing to do. It took no effort. But going up the stairs takes a lot more effort. It's the exact same stairs I just went down. The ride down was so easy. It seemed effortless. I could have climbed down 100 stairs. But now, even though just a few seconds ago, minutes ago maybe, I was on floor 5, now I'm back here at floor 5, and it was so much harder. And the thing I want to say of this is one of the lessons to learn from decay. This is a financial lesson. If your portfolio drops 90% in value, like your crypto might, like if you invest in risky stocks, that might happen. Getting back up to where you were before, it doesn't just take a 90% gain, it takes a 900% gain. If your $100 goes down 90% to $10, you need a 900% increase in value. Actually, it might be 1,000%. Whatever, you need a 900% increase in value to get back to where you were. And that's something I think we need to think about with regards to our health, with regards to our financial situation, but also when you're doing something that really is quite limited. A lot of people don't realize that the YouTube downswing has hit them until it's too late. Imagine how much easier it would be to get back up to floor 9 if I'd have realized that I was going down, if I'd have realized how hard it would be to go back up when I was at floor 8. If my only goal in the end was to get to floor 10, it would have made sense to stop. Just stop right here. Don't let the decline go down. But I didn't. And man, I love stairs as a form of exercise. Like, I hate them, my body hates them. But there's something to be said for stairs. Anyway, my point here is that decay is natural, and in so many parts of our life, we don't see it. We forget that our friendships and our relationships are decaying before our eyes, and that we have to make conscious effort to make sure that this downwards trajectory is being lifted up every now and then. Like, I'm gonna regret doing this. By default, I'm going down the stairs, and every now and then, you just have to realize you've gone down some stairs, and that if floor 12 is where you want to be, you go up some stairs. Maybe you want to be at floor 12, but you really, really don't want to be at floor 11. Maybe it's worth being at floor 13, because then you're down for floor 14. Oh, of course it's a high-rise building. They don't have a floor 13, because who wants to buy an apartment unit or floor 13 of a building? But yeah, I'm going through some stuff, and I think the end result is probably enjoyable for the end user. But I just wanted to let you know that it's happening, And I'm so glad that no one came into this stairway the entire recording. Makes me feel glad. You know what else makes me feel glad? When you, I don't know, subscribe to the channel, or don't. You're your own boss. You can do whatever you want, man. But I'll see you all in the next video. And if I don't see you in the next video, our relationship declines to floor 12. And if I don't see you in the next video, it's floor 11. And then, before you know it, 100 videos have passed and you've forgotten who I am because you're so busy looking at, I don't know, Minecraft speedruns or what's hot these days. Among Us, I want to say. You're busy, you've forgotten about your good boy Toycat and his carrot cake videos and his stairs. And that's okay, that's natural, that's decay. But my goal is to make sure I stop that. And I recommend that in your own lives, whatever you care about, try to make sure it lasts. There's a ton of ways to do that. But just know that lasting, things existing, is not the natural state of being as much as we might want it to be. Thank you for watching. Third channel. Don't care. Wait, do you want to see how sweaty I am? Yeah, I bet you do. I am this sweaty. Oh, you actually can't see it that badly. You're not. I'm looking good, am I right? Because I put the upstairs effort into my fitness today. Oh, my hair is so wet. My whole body is wet. I'm gonna go shower. I hope you do too, emotionally. Okay, this video is ruined. I should have ended it before. Goodbye.